Hey folks, welcome to Transplant. But today, my name is Jim Merle. I read on one of the Facebook groups just the other day a rumor that's probably been going around for quite a while, and that is if you're more than 10 years, that's 10 years post-transplant, the likelihood of you experiencing rejection is almost non-existent. Is that actually true? Is that something we need to be considering? Is it a possibility even? That's what we're talking about today. Now, there are several factors that come into this rumor. Number one, it is absolutely the case. That is, this is the truth that the farther you get out from transplant, the less likely you are to reject if you've not experienced rejection in the past. And so you can see statistically that if you're a year out and you've not had rejection, that's one thing. If you're 2 years out, that's another. Up into 10, 20 to 30 years, if you've not experienced rejection, then yes, statistically, probably you're not going to experience that. However, do not get the impression that that's based on, or maybe even just because of that fact itself. I noticed the other day on one of the Facebook groups, a different group, I think it was, that the lady who had been about, I think she said 23 years out, don't quote me on that, but I believe she was 23 years out and she was experiencing rejection for her very first time. So that's proof in the pudding there that it is possible to reject out past that 10-year, even that 20-year mark. The likelihood is always there. And that's why it's always so important for us to maintain our medications and be consistent, as I like to say, on time, every time with those medications, so that's something we don't have to worry about as much. Now, still, even given that, you could experience rejection nonetheless. But I think there's a much bigger factor in this as to why someone might not be rejecting after that 10-year mark, and it really doesn't have anything to do with counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through 10 on our fingers. Really, it has to do with their age. You see, there are two age groups of people who are oftentimes transplanted that are not very likely to reject. The first group is young children. I mean by that, probably children under, say, 6 years and under. They are the least likely group to develop any form of rejection. That really comes down to the fact that their immune systems are not fully developed yet. They've not fought off a lot of different diseases and childhood illnesses. Therefore, their immune system is not built and it's not as strong as it would be, say, if you were in your 15 to 25 year range. Those are the strongest immune systems that you're going to meet up with someone in that age group. So someone, say, 6 years and younger, their immune system's not yet built up, and being that that immune system does a lot of good things, such as fighting off disease, it also does, in a transplant patient, almost a lot of bad things because it may be fighting off your organs. So if you're a young person, you're less likely to reject. By the other side of that, and this is kind of new and kind of an experimental type thing, but as they started transplanting more and more people in the older generation, that is especially the group that's 65 and older. And by the way, if you've ever wondered if you can be transplanted after 65, I've got a video for that. I'll link it up here in the corners as well in the description below, and you can go ahead and check that out. But anyway, that's neither here nor there right now. But those who are 65 and older, maybe even 60 and older, are less likely to reject also than that middle-aged group. And that is for exactly the same reason. That is, not only have their immune systems kind of ramped up and gotten to a peak, now they've started going back down. Your body is not producing as many, I think it's T cells, I think that's right, in your bone marrow, and so its immunity, or its immune activity is a little bit less, and that declines as we age. So really what's going on here is, say you've got someone, let's make up an age here, say you've got someone who's 55 years old and they're transplanted. By the time they're 65 years old or 10 years later, they're less likely to reject, not only because they may not have had rejection as of yet, but mainly, and for sure mainly, because of their age. They've actually kind of begun to age out of the most likely potential for rejection. Now, there are ups and downs to that. As that immune system falls, just like it would be with a young child, those people are much more susceptible to catching the common cold, the flus, the viruses, those things that go around. That's why every time you see something come up about, say, the flu vaccine, you're going to find a number of recommendations which says everyone who's a young child or an older person needs to get this flu vaccine. By the way, I've got a couple of videos on that. I'll link that up here in the description as well as in the show notes below here as well. But nonetheless, those are the people that are going to be more susceptible to getting sick because their immune system is down. On the other side of that, a plus, a double thumbs up for us as transplant patients. As we age and get older and our immune system begins to kind of quieten down, we are less likely to reject. So there's two factors involved in this rumor, if you will, and a little bit of truth in it, and that is the farther we are out from our transplant, the less likely we are to reject, if statistically we've not rejected already. And more than that, as we age and get older, we're also less likely to reject. I hope this has helped you out in some way. If it has, how about go ahead and give me a big giant thumbs up on this video. That just encourages me and causes me to want to continue to make content for you, something similar to this, as I try every single week to put out content, maybe even 2 days a week, which will hopefully advocate, educate, and motivate you as a transplant patient. In addition to that, if you feel like commenting below this video, let me know when you were transplanted, maybe how far you out are, or what your age is, and if you have experienced rejection. That would be something that would tremendously help the transplantable community to better understand topics like this. So go ahead and comment below this video, and that would be greatly appreciated. While you're down below the video, go ahead and hit that big subscribe button there. That'll help you to be notified each and every time I put out content like this. Again, probably on Tuesdays and Thursdays, maybe around 4 p.m. That's about typical for me. While you're there, hit that big bell notification all beside that too, so that YouTube, that's where these videos are coming from, so that YouTube will be sure to notify you when these videos come out. I appreciate you joining me today. Until next time, stay stronger, friends.